Leo, hello, and welcome to your November 2024 Tarot Forecast. I'm Ms. Eden, and Leo family, I am so happy you're here. Welcome. This is going to be a general reading for my Leo sun, moon, and rising signs. Know, though, however, we all have a little bit of Leo presence in all of our charts. So Leo is overseen by the fifth house. So take a look where the fifth house is in your chart and where that energy resides. All right, fam? Don't sweat it if you don't catch this video right after I release it. Know that there's a time and place for you to receive this message, beautiful Leo. And I do hope that when you get that tingle, that urge to click and watch or listen, that is the time for you to receive this message. And I hope that there's something in this message for you. Leo family, since this is a general reading for the collective, not every single thing is going to hit for every single one of y'all. So take what does hit, what resonates for y'all, and then leave the rest for others, all right? If you like what you see over here, y'all, I do have an Instagram account that you can check out. That link can be found in my bio, and there's all sorts of things that get posted over on my Instagram that don't always cross over here to my YouTube. So go ahead and let's follow, if you are interested, both accounts, and let's keep growing that family. All right, y'all. And while we're talking about the family growing, I know we have lots of new subscribers, so welcome to any new Leo family checking out your tarot forecast for the month. Very glad to have you here. And thank you to the family, all of you, for all of your support, your love, your comments. I have really loved hearing from each and every one of you that I've heard from. It's really special, and it really helps me know how I'm doing when I can hear how these readings hit for you, hear how your lives are going. This is all about community building, family. So keep those comments coming, y'all. And if you do like my work, if you like this channel and what you're seeing over here, the best way, the easiest way, and the cheapest way, because it's free, is to interact with my videos. So hit that like button, comment if you have something, a thought that pops into your head that you want to share. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and let's again keep growing that family. Sending y'all so much love, so much light, and thank you all for all the support so far. Just warms my heart. I can't say enough awesome things about it. So Leo, we're going to do a little something slightly different this month. We're going to add in a little oracle card pull before we get into your tarot reading. And we're also going to do our normal check-in on the astrology of the month of November. Pardon me, I had to get a little drink of water. So that's where we'll start, is with the astrology, and then we'll do the oracle cards and get into the tarot reading. All right, loves. The first half of November, we're in the midst. Let me back it up before I even get into cutting it in halves. We are in the midst of a big period of change and transition that is only just starting to ramp up. All right, family. So I just want us to prepare ourselves for that. Know that the more that we have our toolbox with our grounding strategies, the more that we can focus inward and lead with love, with light, with compassion, humanity for others, understanding for others, the easier it's going to be to get through all this up and down that we're going to be seeing. I'm not sure when to put an end date on it. I feel like, part of this is we need to loosen our understanding of linear time and start understanding and thinking about universal time a little bit more. And that's going to mean that it's hard to kind of put firm start dates and end dates, because it does feel like for many months now and many forecasts, I've just been talking about this building to these big shifts and changes, and we're in the midst of it right now, y'all. So let's get into it. Let's dive in. The first half of November, while the pace is picking up, it's going to be focused on internal work and movement. You're going to have the opportunity, Leo, to go deep within and transform these ego blocks, these lower frequency, ego-driven restrictions and ways of operating, these Yeah, I mean, blocks really is the best way to describe it. We're going to be able to transform that into a connection with the higher self. So that's the opportunity that stands for all of us with the beginning of November. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to dive right in and be willing to transform and work through all that icky, dark, hard stuff that resides inside of us. That is hard, difficult work. A lot of us do shy away from it, but I'm willing to gather that if you're here checking out this video, if you are open-minded spiritually, that you are more willing than most to dive into those darker realms because you understand that there is wisdom to be learned there and there's power with knowledge, right? So the second half of November, whereas the first is going to be more internal movement and changes, the second half is going to be about outward movement and change happening. And we're going to see a lot of truths coming to light about our power structures and dynamics, our systems of control, and especially our spiritual discipline practices. How serious are we about our spiritual sides, our spiritual, infusing our day-to-day routines with spirituality and spiritual practices? That's going to be a big focus for the second half of November. So let's dive in. The first of the month, we came in, because I am getting to this video a bit behind schedule. Thank you, Leo family, for being so patient as I get these monthly forecasts completed and out to y'all. The 1st of November, which again is already passed at this point, but we had a new moon in Scorpio. New moons are all about new beginnings, fresh starts, beginning and stepping forward onto new paths, into new cycles, planting seeds for new starts, fresh ideas. And with it in Scorpio, a water sign, Scorpio is all about power, transformation, change, secrets, going deep within, kind of that phoenix rising from the ashes. But while we focus on the phoenix a lot and how beautiful it is, we forget that it had to burn itself completely down to nothing in order to rise from that. And that's the hard work of the first, the first half of the month. Yeah. Is that ego self, acceptance, understanding, working through and gaining wisdom about how our ego can block us, that lower operating mentality that is more self-focused, that's more selfish in the negative way, greedy, controlling, that sort of energy, right? Not creating from the purest, space of self. That's kind of a different expression of the self and the ego self. So that new moon gave us all the energy that we needed to start diving deep. And I'm sure a lot of stuff was bubbling up for us around the beginning of the month because, shoot, this is the first new moon after eclipse season as well. All right, fam. On the 2nd of the month, we have Mercury already happened. Mercury moved into Sagittarius. Mercury is the messenger planet. Mercury oversees travel, technology, insights, ideas, creativity, medicine, and anything to do with new ideas in any of those realms. Mercury in mythology is one of the few gods who can travel between both the higher realm, the physical plane, and the lower plane realm, right? The underworld. So he was the bringer of souls to the afterlife. If you think back to Greek and Roman mythology, that's Mercury and Hermes. Also his staff, the caduceus, the staff with the intertwined snakes that we see across the world still in relation to medicine, deeply tied with Hermes, right? So when Mercury is now moving into Mercury and Hermes, right? Hermes is the Greek name, Mercury is the Roman name. So when Mercury is moving into Sagittarius, this is a wonderful opportunity for us at the beginning of the month to have a lot of new inspiration, insights, ideas. We might be feeling that fire to travel around the beginning of the month. I'd love to hear if any of y'all took any trips, Leos. Where did y'all go? Then on the 3rd of November, it was a very tense time and those days surrounding the 3rd. And that's, again, with that new moon energy as well, which just everything's compounded, right? But we had a lot of aspects with Mars on November 3rd. Mars moved into Leo, as well as Mars was conjunct Pluto and trine the moon on the 3rd. So that just leads to a lot of easily combustible, aggressive, warlike energy that can be triggered very, very quickly, right? And can be triggered through the emotions with that moon trine or essence there influencing it. And when Mars is conjunct Pluto, Pluto is all about power and transformation. So that's like heightening Mars's aggression and warlike shoot first, ask questions later type energy, okay? So the 3rd might have been a little bit of a bumpy day, and I see that also, I believe, let me see. Oh, it must have been, I'm thinking back to another reading. I thought that you had it as well. Some of the tarot cards have been laying out with some of these astrological elements we have this month. So I'm curious to know from some of the family in those readings, hey, what happened to y'all around that time, right? So yeah, the 3rd and those days around the 3rd were probably very combustible, very explosive kind of energy, internal and external. It gave us the opportunity to really grapple with the dark side and expression of that ego self with all that Martian energy, that harsh Martian energy. Now, moving ahead to the 11th of November, 11/11, Venus moves into Capricorn. That's a really beautiful energy. It can give the things that we love, Venus, things that we love, things that we find pleasure in, indulge with, really like indulging the senses and satisfying all 5 senses, right? It's a planet of beauty and enjoying, the world around us. But with Capricorn energy there, it can help us, if we've been overindulging, bring a little bit more structure into our lives, and especially in our lives with relationship to the things, people, places, communities that we love. All right, with Venus there. Be mindful also around the 11th that you might have some power control dynamics that aren't playing out very nicely with that Venus in Capricorn that day, or during this period of Venus in Capricorn. There could be, over these few weeks, I need to check exactly the Venus transits. I believe they're like a month or two, a month to 6 weeks perhaps. I need to double check that. But while Venus is in Capricorn, we need to be very mindful that we're not trying to control the ones that we love, the things that we love, okay? If you love it, set it free. We can only control ourselves. So be mindful of that kind of negative expression of Capricorn. On the 15th of November, big day because Saturn stations direct. It has been retrograde in Pisces. So it stations direct in the final degree of Pisces. We'll talk about that in just a sec. Also, we have a full moon in Taurus on the 15th. And this is our last supermoon. This is the 4th supermoon in a row where the moon is much closer to the earth, and we're going to feel the impacts of these full moons much more. And especially as a fixed sign, Leo, our fixed sign energies, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio are going to feel the impacts of this full moon a little extra. Saturn going direct in Pisces is that piece that is calling us, demanding, actually, I won't even say like calling, that's too gentle. It is demanding that we get really serious about our spiritual practices. We need to get really disciplined about how we're connecting with our spiritual sides and how we can bring that more regularly into our day-to-day lives. Saturn is also at this final degree in Pisces, because there are degrees like in angle relationships in math in astrology. And when we are at the final degree, that final degree in astrology is the 29th degree. We call that the anaretic degree. And what does that mean, you may ask? Well, what you need to take away from that is the 29th degree is where a planet is in a sign right before it switches and changes signs. For example, Saturn is in the 29th degree of Pisces. That is the last little sliver of Pisces before Saturn moves into the sign of Aries, the next sign on the zodiac wheel. And it will be at 1 degree of Aries, starting those degrees all over again each time we change signs. So the 29th degree of any sign or cycle of a planet moving through a sign is a big deal. It's like a full moon on steroids type of energy about culminations, wrap-ups, ending cycles, learning from the past, right? And we have a lot of planets right now that are in the 29th degree, not just Saturn. We also have Neptune, we have Capricorn, and I think there's one other that's also in the 29th anaretic degree. So just a lot of wrap-ups, finalities, as we are preparing to shift big time into all new paradigms. The full moon in Taurus is going to ask us where we need to maybe culminate and wrap up cycles that have us focus too much on our material things around us. Where is that holding us down, holding us back? Taurus also oversees financial systems, the food production system, and agriculture. So we might see certain things come to light around the full moon with our financial systems, maybe some developments with our food production, right? And with Saturn and Pisces and Neptune and Pisces, along with Uranus currently in Taurus, we have a lot of volatility there to see a lot more, the makings of a lot more natural disasters, specifically water-related floods. Is our water clean? Is it pure? All of that, like water contamination, landslides with Uranus and Taurus, which Uranus is an earth-shaking planet, bringer of sudden and swift change. So I think we're still going to be seeing a lot of, unfortunately, destruction happen with regards to water and then earth-related seismic events, right? Volcanic activity, earthquakes, landslides, all sorts of things, right? So that is just, I think, going to keep coming on with these elements that I talked about. And then the big day that most astrologers, a lot of us are going to be talking about, anyone in the spiritual realm, is the 19th of November. Because that is the shift. That is the day that Pluto finally moves into Aquarius. Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. Think back to 2008 and what was going on in your life, in the world at that time, because Pluto has longer transits and shifts. So these are about bigger, larger scale shifts and changes for humanity at large. Also affecting us individually, but this is a big collective shift with Pluto moving into Aquarius. Pluto will be in Aquarius until 2044. When Pluto was in Capricorn, and now it's at the 29th degree of Capricorn, remember what I said about that anaretic degree, that full moon energy, right? Culminations, we're going to see a lot of stuff pop up at this final moment. And Pluto is, again, all about power and transformation. Capricorn, also about top-down power and control, government systems, okay? That's been the name of the game since 2008. When Pluto moves into Aquarius, this is the beginning of the shift away from top-down power and more laterally distributing it amongst the people. Pluto in Aquarius is power to the people. Aquarius is humanitarian, community, truth-seeking, justice. It's also really like an out there sign. So we get a lot of weird things with like universal, UFO, news, all sorts of stuff like that. Aquarius is a very revolutionary sign. Now, it's important to keep in mind that while we are in uncharted territory, we can look to the past to guide us a bit. And the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was the time of the American Revolution and the French Revolution. If you're looking for any sort of similarities that we might, again, be entering into, because the energy, brace ourselves is basically it. Get our grounding tools ready. Let's build community, because it's gonna get real, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna try and put out a longer video on that. On the 21st of November, we have Sagittarius season beginning, and then right on the heels of that, Leo family, Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. So that Mercury retrograde is going to be probably a welcome slowdown for all of us. I know we all fret when we're like, Mercury retrograde. It can be a very nice slowdown period, because we're going to hit bumps and delays when it comes to travel, communication, technology. This is not a time to sign contracts. This is not a time to launch new projects. You need to proofread and edit, double check everything before you click send during the Mercury retrograde cycle. And with this Mercury retrograde being in Sagittarius, we have the opportunity to really get in touch to receive more inspiration and energy and insight for new creations, new ideas. What do we want to bring into this world? This is the planning stage. So seize upon it, especially because when it'll be kind of a nice slowdown amidst the mid of the holiday season, you know, at least in like Western culture, but holiday season nonetheless. So Mercury will go direct on the 15th of December, just in time. We'll have a little bit of that shadow period in time for Christmas too. So if you're looking for an excuse to slow down and have a low-key holiday, there it is. There it is, right? Leo family, thanks for rocking with me. I think through our astrology update, I know it takes a minute, but there are just so many things happening that are impacting a lot of how we're feeling, doing, processing right now. And it's important that you know, because it's not just about the cards. It is about the larger heavenly body energies out there that are affecting, you know, everything. So for our oracle messages today, I used our messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides deck by Stephen Farmer. I love this deck. It's one of my first decks that I ever got, oracle decks at least. And it's beautiful. So if y'all ever want me to do a deck review, I will be happy to. I've always been kind of curious if I should start doing some deck reviews. So if you've been curious about maybe investing in an animal spirit deck and you want to check it out before buying, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to review this deck for y'all. So 2 feathered friends fell out for my Leos this month to help y'all out with the energies of November. And one of them is Roadrunner. Keep your sense of humor, Leo, and don't take things too seriously. Mimi. Sorry, I did 3, but it's Mimi, right? For the classic Roadrunner. Those of you who used to watch old school Hanna-Barbera? No, I can't remember. Not Hanna-Barbera, but whatever. Roadrunner cartoons. Your second animal spirit guide coming to you this month is Condor. Ooh, love it. I also love that one of these is a ground animal and one of them is obviously like a ground bird. And then the other is an aerial bird. So Condor's message for my Leos is you're too enmeshed in the situation. Step back to see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. All right, Leo family? Yeah, and that's where we're starting this month. Let's get into it. Starting off Leo's reading, we have the 8 of Swords, interference. You're blocking yourself in your mind. You're creating too much clutter. There's too much fear there, but you have the power to free yourself from this mental turmoil at any moment, Leo. So coming into the month, we might be feeling a little mentally anxious, but are we creating a lot of this anxiety ourselves? Are there things that we can let go of, that we don't need to hold on to that responsibility, unnecessary worries? because all you need to do is drop your blindfold and step forward. You have the keys to your own freedom from that interference. I think a lot of this is self-interference, but definitely mental interference coming in at the get-go for my Leos. And y'all have a lot of fast-moving energy. I'm using a new deck, so I will translate it a bit to the Rider-Waite deck, but this is the Prince of Wands, translates to the Knight of Wands. You have a lot of fast-moving energy this month. Maybe within, again, that's what's causing the mental turmoil, but also outward. Spirit and the universe want to connect with you and are sending you signals. This is also could be about traveling for my Leos this month. Might be taking some trips. And that might be causing some mental anguish for y'all. Again, don't overthink the trip. Just book the ticket and get there. One thing at a time, Leo, is what I'm hearing. This is a new journey that you're on. Fool card. You are on a completely new path. You took the jump. You jumped, Leo. So enjoy it. Like, meet it with your Roadrunner energy. You know, lighten up, have fun with it, quit overthinking. This is 0 holds the power of each and every other digit. 1 through 9. So this is like infinite possibilities of what you can create. This is again that pure energy that we feel inside before it manifests into something physical. So make sure that you're grounding that energy when it's time to ground it, Leo, that you are grounding that energy into something beautiful, something sourced from light and love, because it can manifest if you're thinking negative and staying in that space of fear and anxiety. It will manifest as a health ailment, a physical ailment, most of the time. And I just wanted to also show again that we have a Leo pulling the carriage, and on this card, instead of the dog, it's a tiger. So there you are twice, Leo. All right, trust the process. Spirit's like, just trust that your body knows which way to go. Your mind is the thing that's overthinking it and taking you in the wrong direction. Yeah. Prince of Discs. So this is the Knight of Pentacles in the other deck, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. Slow moving, steady wins the race. Your focus is on, again, creating and materializing in the world around you, your resources. That's the focus for a lot of my Leos this month. And that focus, you're right on, spot on, Leo, because 10 of Pentacles is coming up. This is like wealth, legacy. You are setting yourself up, whatever you're working on, that you need to let go of that extra anxiety about, this new path, whatever you're working on and manifesting, it's going to pay off for the big time, for the long run. This is about you, again, building your legacy. This could be something like it could be inheritance that was going to pop out, but also just like some inheritance like you could leave to your children, something that you will build up that is so supportive and abundant that it will generate like through generations. All right. And that's because this, again, with this new fool's journey that you're on, it's because you've been through this rebirth, the eon. This is the Judgment card. So there's this newness. You have to step forward and be okay with the ignorance and not knowing everything right now and not knowing exactly the way forward and feeling a little lost. Like, just enjoy the ride. Remember that you're taking things far too seriously. You're getting too enmeshed in the situation. Let go and soar. Just let the new adventure carry you. This is about forgiving everything in your past, all the pieces of you that you love and that you hate, accepting them. And with that comes the power to step forward and rebirth into this new expression of yourself, Leo. Ooh, I love that for you. And here it is again. Endings and new beginnings with the World card. You are wrapping up an old cycle. And not just that, it seems like a lot of my Leos have learned the deep lessons and are doing the work. That this is like the second Magician card. Except now, like this is in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's with this Magician has 2 wands. This is about understanding, again, everything that came before was meant to happen to get you to where you are today. They were learning experiences. Don't cringe at them, learn from them. And then don't let it bother you as much. It's not that, I don't want to say let it go, because a lot of times stuff lingers, but if we work through it, if we learn from it, then it doesn't sting as much when it pops up again, right? With this Princess of Discs, this is the Page of Pentacles. Again, your focus is on what am I creating and starting new that I can manifest in the material world here. Slow and steady. Your focus is on your resources, your hard work, your abundance, getting ideas for what you can create. And with that, you might just be taking a time out from others with this Two of Swords, finding a moment of peace, stepping away from other people's opinions and the hubbub, the turmoil of this kind of Eight of Swords energy, this interference, because that's exactly what it is. And so you are peace-seeking this month. Good, Leo, good. Many of us are peace-seeking right now. And that's wonderful. We need to be searching for ways forward, again, that lead with love, light, peace, compassion, humanity for others, understanding. So again, by stepping away, by slowing down, by focusing on accepting all of yourself up to this point, you are going to be planting the seeds for that ultimate abundance and success, that legacy, that Leo legacy, right? And this is exactly where your head is. King of Pentacles. You almost have every single, I think you're just missing the Queen. So you have every other Pentacle Court card. You might also have some earth signs coming in to affect the situation for my Leos this month. Some earth signs. That's going to be Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorns might be affecting my Leos. But here we go. The Knight of Pentacles, this is the Knight of Discs, but King of Pentacles. So your focus is on how do I create my castle, my kingdom, my queendom, right? That I can sit in my garden and appreciate the abundance and literally like be one with everything that I've created around me, be in contentment, be in appreciation and gratitude, lead with balance, compassion, and understanding, a grounded way of approaching matters and ruling your empire. But there's a warning here too that there's trappings that we lay for ourselves with this devil energy that's present. And this is what's coming up for a lot of us, Leo, is this devil energy, this darkness. Be mindful of your vices this month. Don't escapism too much, Leo. But this is a reminder of thinking about the chains that we lay upon ourselves. How do we trap ourselves? And this is usually connected to, again, be mindful, like your focus is a lot on your resources, your money, your physical abundance. And while that's great and all, that's not the end all be all of life and joy. So I think the devil's here to warn you that that's great that you're working on stabilizing and materializing in the physical world around us, but know that can be trapping. You know that like the wealthy, like when you're rich, you always want more. Even if, like, for us, you know, here in the regular, we're like, wow, if we had that much money, we would be. But for some reason, it's like, yeah, like they can never have enough. It's insatiable. Once you reach a certain level of wealth, control, and power, you just crave more. So just be mindful of that. That money doesn't always bring happiness. It can bring stability and the means to do the things that bring you, you know, yeah, to a degree, yes, it can bring happiness. But don't hinge your ultimate peace, your final everything on just the money, just the physical things, because that's trapping. For me, what's deeper, and you might agree or disagree, Leo. I mean, you know, it's to each and every one of us. But for me, when I leave this world, I don't want to remember just all the things I had. I want to remember the experiences I had, the people I was with, the communities I was part of. That's the work that I did in the world. That's the meat and potatoes right there. It's not like, how many Lego sets did I have? How many cars? How many houses? Frankly, that just sounds boring at the end of my life. If I was, you know, if I think about it, like, if me on my deathbed, if I'm just like, all right, I worked my ass off so that I could buy like 10 houses, and then I spent my life just flying between the houses and staying there. Yeah, that just sounds ultimately like boring after a while. So be mindful of the trappings. All right, beautiful Leo. There's going to be illusions and delusions with that money, with those resources, with that physical abundance, with those creations that you're manifesting into the physical. Again, what society tells us leads to joy doesn't work for every single one of us. We all think we want money, riches, fame. And then some of us get it and we're like, oh, that's not fulfilling in the way I thought it was. So be mindful, Seven of Cups, of the illusions and delusions that not everything that you think is going to fill your emotional cup. Look at that sludge that's coming out of there. You can test the waters this month. Check it out. See if really, like, all this hustle and bustle for the money or the resources is really fulfilling your bag, or is it just draining you? Is it just disconnecting you from your new journey because you're so focused on the grind, on the entrapment? Are you really free? If it's all about the resources and we're constantly grinding, working, just trying to attain something that I'm not even sure, like, is attainable in reality. So the final kind of messages and the impacts from the universe that might be factoring in is, you guys and gals, the family collective of Leos is going to have the energy, going to have the mental ability and acuity, if you ask for it from the universe, to cut through all the bullshit and get to the truth of the matter. If you cut yourself free from the inner turmoil and the interference, if you give yourself that peace and allow yourself to step onto this new path like an exhilarated, fun-loving child, then you're good. You're going to get to the truth of a matter. She's not interested in the emotional hubbub, you know? She's cutting through, and her words, this queen, her words are the weapon, not the sword. She stays above the fray. Again, justice, truth. You have the Page of Swords. Be mindful, again, that your mind's going to be running really fast. You do not need to charge forward this month, thinking that you know everything and you're like, oh, great, I got this. Like, give it time. We got Mercury going retrograde. We got a lot of big transits. Like, chew it over a little bit. If you still are feeling that way about it, great. Then execute later. But this is to be mindful, like, your mind is sharp, your words are sharp, your tongue is sharp, so be careful what you say. All right? And you're seeking the truth. And Two of Pentacles, change. Change is coming. This is about balancing two different things. Understanding that, again, that balance, that resources are the means to an end only. It's not the end. Money is not the end. How can we share that with others to bring joy and happiness? How can we turn that into experiences instead of just stuff for us? How can we give back? There's the infinity symbol on here too. I just think that's amazing, especially with the snake eating its tail. So not only with that change comes two other messages, is again, change again with the Wheel of Fortune. It's not always good. It's not always bad. Life is a constant change around this wheel. So if you're stuck in a moment of good, fantastic. Stuck, I would say. If you're in a moment of good, fantastic. Just know that nothing ever lasts forever. If you're stuck in the moment of bad, again, same too. Nothing will last forever. This is about your fortune is changing. You've wrapped up old cycles, remember, with that World card. You have hopefully learned what you needed to learn, Leo, because you are in this rebirth period. So allow yourself the grace, the space with this Temperance. This is the art card in this deck, but it's Temperance. About balancing your physical, mental, emotional well-being, spiritual. The angels are there to support you. There's the Leo again. There you are, right? Nourish yourself. Fill all your cups so that you are operating from a place of strength and not from a place of fear. The trouble with all the resources and the physical abundance and everything is that feeling of lacking thereof can be very entrapping. So be mindful of that in our pursuit for physical things, Leo. All right. Last message, bottom of the deck, you got the Chariot card. So this is fast moving energy, divinely guided for my Leo family. Make sure you take the time, Leo, to really meditate, not overthink, but give yourself the space, the grace, again, and that's going to be through connecting with joyful activities, through happiness, through taking yourself out of the stressful situations, walk in nature, do something that makes you have fun, veg and watch, shows all day, create something, sing, dance, move the body, like whatever it is, but you have to release some of that energy so that you can better have a clear head to figure out which way you want to go. Because the universe is bringing change whether you like it or not. So you might as well get prepared, get ready for it, and know which direction you want to lead that change. Right, Leo family? Sending y'all so much love for the month of November. Definitely come back and let me know at the end of the month how this reading is hitting for y'all. Always love hearing from the fam. And I always go back and rewatch, reread monthly forecasts at the end of the month after everything's kind of happened. And I'm like, oh, wow. So many blessings to my Leo family this month. You got this. It is a new journey for all of us. So know that you are not alone, Leo, and you have all the strength and protection that you need along this new journey. Lean into your happiness and don't forget to call on your animal spirit guides, Condor and Roadrunner, if you're ever feeling lost this month. Much love, y'all.